the next guy that comes on the phone, he ain't going to be shit compared to this because you can't out-believe me in what we've done. You'd have to be really freaking crazy. You'd have to be Andy Elliott. The only person crazier than me is him.
You guys asked for it, and here it is. I went live with Andy Elliott's sales team. I had a missed call. I called him back. This is what happened.
Hello. Yeah, I had a missed call from this number yesterday. I was calling back.
This number?
Yeah, I had a call.
What's your name?
My name's Tyler Mosby.
Tyler, what's going on, my man? What are you doing?
I just got home from work. That's why I didn't call you. I work nights. One of our machines on the line broke. Whenever crap like that happens, a lot of people don't come in because it's a freaking headache when you get in there.
Hey, no worries, man. It's Mikey with the Andy Elliott. Andy said that he had reached out originally for some info on some training, coaching, and mentorship. Is that right?
Basically, was just trying to learn a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I don't have anything at all, my man. I just answered the phone. I saw it ringing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So, like I said, I'm phasing out of that job I was in. I was there for a while, but what I've started doing is I've started getting in house repair. I said I worked, in the factory doing windows, and that's how I got started in it, actually. I buy distressed homes. The bank, has either put a lien on it or the house is in bad condition. I go in, I repair it, and I've actually gotten to the point now where I have 3 people working for me doing that. And we're starting to scale it up pretty big. I'm making like $9,200 last month in pure profit. That's amazing to me. I'm thinking, well, dang, I've only started this about 9-10 months ago. So I'm thinking, well, we're scaling up quick. But the thing for me that I want to do, I want to build me a personal brand. I want to go and I want to be able to take myself and put myself online, not only to build connections in real estate, but I want to grow. I want to keep going bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, you know what, man? I know this is exactly what we do. At the Elliott Group, and I'll tell you my experience. I've been with Andy 5 years. I was literally Andy's very first customer. I was about to lose my job, and I reached out to him, and he told me that he believed in me, and he said if I believed in him, he goes, invest in yourself. So he sold me a course he didn't have. He told me if I bought it, he would make it, and he made it. And after that, I kept climbing the ranks. Andy, he helped me quadruple my income.
Andy sold this guy a course that he didn't have because Andy told him to believe in himself, and this guy actually paid for something that didn't even exist? This is already getting stupid, and we're not even 2 minutes into the call. How would he know Andy Elliott unless he was also in the car business? And if he was in the car business, he lost his job because that company got shut down for fraud. But let's see where he goes with this.
So I built this personal brand because in car sales, nobody did that, right? I built a personal brand, and Andy taught me, a lot of things, but this one thing in this instance, he told me, he goes, how something is presented is how it's perceived. And I was putting myself out there, and people thought I was a dealership. I never said I was. They just thought that. And I was selling about 45 cars a month within 2 months because of the personal brand. I was one salesman, and I was doing what you're doing. And then I have 3 people work for me just like you. They didn't work for me per se. They worked for the dealership. But they looked up to me because I was selling a lot of cars. And I was telling them, I was like, hey, bro, take this deal, put me on half, because that's how it works in the car business. And I let them work the deals, and I'm catching all these half deals along the way. And they're getting half deals, otherwise they wouldn't have got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So building a personal brand is huge.
When Andy Elliott testified against Big Red in that federal fraud case back in 2021, he highlighted this exact business practice, that he would put his name on the contract so he would take part of the commission away from the actual salesperson. And looky here, that's exactly what this guy back in 2020, 2021 said that he did.
Matter of fact, what I want to do is I want to get you with one of my who really excels at this, and they taught me this. These guys, they're the twins. Have you ever seen the twins on Andy's videos?
I don't think so.
Okay, yes. Well, these are the guys who taught me how to build a personal brand.
Okay.
Right, and they got me on, and I really looked up to them because they were selling like 90 cars a month. They're actually the presidents of the company, and not everybody has access to them. But me, I've been with Andy for 5 years. And I have a pretty good relationship with him. So if there's a way that their schedule's normally pretty filled up, but if there's a way that I can get my foot in the door with them today, do you have time today?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything else the rest of the day. All I'm going to do is eat and probably go to bed a little bit later on. That's about all I'm doing today.
Okay, no, I feel you. Let me do this. Let me go run over to their office real quick. I'm going to get with them real quick, and then I'm going to give you a call back here very shortly.
All right. Did you guys catch it? He said the twins taught him this stuff, and that's why he wants to send me over to them. But when he started, he said that he paid Andy for this course that didn't even exist because Andy said to invest in himself. So did Andy teach him from that course that he didn't create yet, or did the twins teach him?
Tyler.
Hey, how you doing?
No worries. Hey, listen, I got a little crack in the schedule right here. So I got my guy Ian right here, the one I was telling you about, president of the company.
Yeah.
specializes in building brands. He's right here, my man.
President of a company just sitting around waiting to call me in like 5 minutes? Yeah, right. Either this guy's not the president or they don't have anybody sitting and waiting. He even said his schedule's so packed that it just magically opened up in the next 10 minutes to call me back. Come on, man.
All right, that sounds good.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Good, man. Tell me a little bit about you, man. Like, what are you looking to try to accomplish, and how can we help you?
So when I first started out a few years ago, I just started working in a factory, nothing real serious. Well, I met my mentor. He was really old, and he was in his 80s when I first met him. He was in real estate and rentals and stuff like that, and he sold me my first ever property. I lived in a tiny little mobile home, smallest one in the park. He taught me the ropes on how to rebuild houses. I'm talking flooring, wall patching, even electrical work. And I slowly started to get into real estate. I initially started with mobile homes, but now I've shifted into single family residences. I buy them that are either in bad condition or they're distressed at the bank. And I actually have 3 people that work for me now doing those repairs. And I'm up to making about 9,200. I might crack 10,000 this month in pure profit. So it's going really, really well. And I'm really excited about it. But the thing for me,
Good for you, man. That's amazing, man. I like that. That's awesome. And you're just figuring that out. That's really good.
what I'm looking for is I want to start a personal brand. I want to go nationwide and maybe even worldwide. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself or anything. I see there being a lot of benefits for me to go and have financial gain, but also have publicity gain. Selfishly, I like the thought of that. And I think it'll help in everything that I'm doing.
100%. This is easy. Dude, this is easy. A guy like you, you're fully capable of it. You've already seen like what it looks like to build a life with like your hands. Your current life that you currently have is because of the past decisions that you currently made. And so like you're like, dude, I mean, I see the factory life. I could make 60, 70, 80 grand, whatever it is a year. But what you're seeing is scale, and you're experiencing growth, and you're seeing like a new life that you currently can have if you just learn some new skill sets. So dude, this is the easiest thing on the planet. When we take a guy like you and can show people who you are and you can get known, that's how connections start to happen. Listen, man, we're the best at a few things, and I mean, we're not the best at a few things, but what we're really good at is getting our name out there. We're able to drive hundreds and hundreds of leads a day to our company. We're also able to drive billions of views. Our brand has driven billions with a B. We're one of the few brands on social media that have driven that type of attention to a brand in the time period that we've done it. So creating a brand is very easy. Getting you known is very easy. A lot of people, they don't break free into this world and see what this world has in it because they never really crack the ceiling of obscurity. They stay in obscurity, which means they're like just not known. Nobody knows who they are. They're able to get really connections. They're never able to make real big business deals. They're never able to even see what this freaking human experience of life really can offer them because they don't shake the right hands and get around the right people.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
These things with a guy like you and scaling your business, they're not that hard. They're actually relatively easy if you just follow the blueprint. But for us, I'm on a lot of calls with a lot of people. Some people are motivated and they call and they're motivated. And then there's people that are totally committed. They're like, Ian, show me what to do. Obviously, I know it costs some money. Obviously, I know if I've seen what you guys have done. It's not like I'm saying something from like a place of theory. I'm like, oh, here's how you build a brand, and then you go to my social media and I don't have none. I've got a couple million followers between my social medias. I've reached personally, hundreds of millions of people, and then with the brand that we built with Andy, which is billions and brands underneath it, it's huge. It's very easy for us to do this. It's like we're the guys that just understand how to scale businesses and make the machine work because it's just what we do.
Do you guys know any brands outside of Andy Elliott's personal brand? I've never heard of Andy Elliott creating handbags or coffee shops or anything else. Furthermore, I've never heard anybody in these programs having any sustained success outside of being a coach. It seems like a pyramid model with a coach teaching other people how to be a coach, and then they teach others how to be a coach, and it's coaches all the way down.
Average people that work in a factory, like you're breaking free of that mediocrity of factory workers because the fact is that most of them are just average, and you're breaking free from that mindset. But a lot of them, they just want to have the understanding of what it is, but not the commitment and the real feeling of what it is. And that commitment comes from like time, effort, energy, and investing some money.
I hate to break it to this guy, but factory workers work 10 times harder than this dude or any online coach ever has and ever will.
Would you be committed to showing up, doing the training, and going all in on it? Would that be something that you could commit to if it was 30 minutes a day?
Oh, 30 minutes a day is easy. Well, not anymore.
I don't doubt factory workers being just hard freaking workers. Like some of my biggest testimonials and Andy's biggest testimonials have come from guys that are in that trade because once they see that they can work work, I mean, honestly, and I don't want them to be comfortable, but once they see that they can work with not their hands but their mouth, and they can learn how to, like, you know, scale things with just their speaking and connecting and talking, and like you have a lot of that, what they see is it's a whole different, like, it's a whole different style of work.
Yeah.
And what happens is they end up earning their freedom back, which is the shittiest thing that you can give away, which is like you go to work, you spend 15 hours away from your family, then you come home, you eat, you go to bed, your kids are sleeping, you wake up, you go to work, you come home. That's like just being a slave and just being handed, you know, a few dollars to make you think that you're not a slave. You're in a car that you don't own, you're in a house that you don't own, and then you're driving to work in a car you don't own just to go to a job that you don't like.
This guy does not like factory workers, man. Saying, oh, they realize their options. What, are factory workers stupid? No, some of the smartest people I've ever met have been factory workers. As someone who's worked both in a factory and also sitting behind a desk, I would rather work in a factory 7 out of 7 days per week because you're active, you're moving around, and there's just something inherently joyful about being active and having physical exercise. But let me know down below, would you guys rather work at a desk or work on your feet doing something? But I also want to point out how he constantly talks about the future, about what's possible. And yeah, you can make a ton of money with a personal brand on social media, but it requires tons and tons of growth before you start making any substantial money. And the truth is, a lot of people's personal brands, they never take off, especially when coaches like this are constantly trying to get people into the same funnel.
When somebody's starting with us, how to build their brand, very simple. We have some structured modules and different things that we go through, and then we probably have over 1,000 hours of training on subjects like this. That program is $2,900. It's super easy. People can pay in one payment or two. If they wanted to start today and they couldn't pay the full $2,900, they can pay $1,500. We want to be able to get them in. They can pay the other $1,500 next month. It also comes with a ticket to come down here and see us live at one of our branding and sales, events where we'll teach a lot of this stuff live. And so we have one of those every single month that are coming up. You don't have to pick a date from those up front, but it has a ticket included in there. It's $1,000 because we want people to not just see this on virtual, but really experience our company and our brand and everything in person because they'll really grow.
Let me translate that real quick. We want you to come to one of our seminars so we can try to upsell you different programs and take more of your money.
That was a lot of information. So let me say a couple of things.
Yeah, I talk fast. Most people listen slow, so I got to tell them to speed up, but
No.
You talk fast too, so I figure you can listen fast.
No, I'm following with you. I'm keeping with you. Just way back when we first started, something that I have to point out, you mentioned it. And see, this is one of the things, I got to be transparent and telling you, there's a lot of people out there offering a lot of things, and I'm sure you know that. But one of the things that I do appreciate you saying, and I understand obviously with seeing Andy's platform, and you said you have it yourself, I'll just believe you at face value. You actually have the followers. The biggest thing to me is you have the engagement. At least Andy's page does. I mean, I've never seen your page, and we just met. I say, how do you have 500,000 people that follow you, but you get 200 likes on your video or your post? Don't make any sense when it happens like that. That's one of the biggest things.
What happens is a lot of these guys, they don't realize they'll go buy their followers.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And then what they don't realize is the long-term effects of that is super detrimental. Like we have we coach other, we're in a lot of different industries, but there's a mastermind that we're hosting with coaches, and the number one thing we'll teach them when we start the brand is if you buy followers or you buy likes or you buy any of that, the algorithm knows, and it will literally, when you try to actually start doing it right and you come to it and you're not an idiot, what you're going to realize is it literally is making it to where you're reaching nobody. You could have 500,000 people buy 50,000 views, but you're only reaching 100 people. You're literally doing the work for no reason. Dude, I know people that have 5 million followers. They're making $20,000 a month off their following. And then I know a person with 5,000 followers. They did it the right way. So they have 5,000 real people in the community, and they're making 6 figures a month off of their followers.
That is such BS. But I'm so glad he said 5,000 subscribers because that's exactly where this channel is. By the way, thank you so much for that, guys. It's so amazing to have gotten to 5,000 subs on this channel. I didn't even think it was possible. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. I'd love to have you guys be a part. I have a really big surprise coming at 10,000 subscribers. I think you're really gonna like it. We're gonna do some real good for people in need, so make sure you guys stick around for that. But this idea that you make 6 figures with a 5,000 sub page is complete garbage. Now sure, you could go and offer some course or some training or whatever, but if I saw a page with 5,000 subs, I'm not going and saying, oh wow, I wanna buy this. I'm saying, Who trained them? Because I want to go straight to the big dog. But let's give the benefit of the doubt and say even 10 clients. Okay, are they going to be all paying you $10,000 per month? No. But to someone who hasn't had experience on social media, they might look at this and say, oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing because it's a fantasy.
Followers to me means nothing unless you know how to convert it, and unless you built the right ones with the right blueprint. Because, you know, like even for us having this conversation, you're a certain type of person that we've attracted. You have a certain type of energy. You have a certain type of discipline. You have a certain type of work ethic. We literally attracted you without having to go find you. I didn't find you. You found us, and you're a certain type of person.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
In the social media world, you attract who you are if you know how to do it, and if you're not trying to shortcut it and do the way that most of those guys do, which is, you know, just buy their way.
I have a friend of mine, he makes the YouTube videos. He's working on a video when I went over to his house, and I looked at his numbers. He only had I think 5,500 something subscribers. No, maybe it's 4,500 subscribers. Really small amount, but he showed me his money. Like, he's making thousands and thousands of dollars from that. I'm like, wow, really?
Yeah.
Like, that's small. So that kind of clicked in my mind too. You know, it's kind of what you said. I mean, it's not about, you know, the bank. It's about how many people are actually going to the well and taking something out of it.
Totally, man. Well, you know, like a year ago, somebody pissed me off and was like, you know, I started with Andy. I was literally, me and Mikey were his first two employees. And somebody was like, well, you don't know how to, you know how to build Andy's brand, but you didn't build yours. And I had like a good Instagram following, good LinkedIn following, good Facebook, but I didn't have a YouTube.
Let's just ignore that this is a complete contradiction. Someone saying he can't build his personal brand, then going to list that he built Instagram, Facebook, all these other platforms, just not YouTube. So evidently he's lying again. Hello.
And I'm like, I could build a YouTube in 1 year. And in the education space, building your YouTube to over 10,000 followers in 1 year on an education platform without clickbait of like stupid shit is, you know, like probably 0.1% of people can build it when that fast.
Yeah, it's hard.
Mine did 14,000. It did 14,000 people. It did 7 million views. And more than that, I mean, it generates 60 to 70 to 80,000 in revenue a month just off of that. It's like a full-blown business just sitting there.
We're tearing this guy up piece by piece, so let's go ahead and tear this up too, because as a semi-successful YouTube creator, not to brag, I can say with fairly high certainty this is nothing but gobbledygook. He makes the educational space out to be a bad niche to make videos in. In fact, an educational channel is one of the best niches you can be in because it has such a worldwide appeal. And now with AI, it's easier than ever to translate your videos into other languages, getting even more viewers. But let's look at his numbers. He claimed to get 14,000 subscribers off 7 million views. That translates to a 0.2% conversion rate. Now, the average conversion rate, which means how often someone who watches your video subscribes, is anywhere from 0.5% to 1%. So that means his channel performed 2 to 5 times worse than typical creators. We're not talking about anybody special. We're talking about BoJack Horseman, who created a YouTube channel about his model trains. He's 2 to 5 times worse than that. Now let's look at his earnings. He said he made $70,000 to $80,000. Not so, because if he has a very respectable RPM of $7, assuming an entire Western audience, that would come out to $49,000. He would need an RPM of roughly $11.43 to get to the $80,000 mark he claimed, which is extremely, extremely high, and given his extremely low conversion rate, is all but impossible. So, I'm sorry, Chief, but you've been busted.
Man, I have a client, he just started his first YouTube channel. He's at 97 people. It's his mom, his buddies, and his hometown. You know, and he generated 5 people yesterday that he had a conversation with. That just goes to show like the power of what these things can do and how fast you can really grow them. And so they're out there. You just got to know the play, run the play, and then ultimately generate the conversations. And you're a guy that's like, you know, you've got a good voice, you've got good energy, and so you could do a lot if social media knew who you are.
I'm glad you feel that way. That's one of the things I feel in myself. You know, that's part of why I want to do this.
Well, and some people can't, dude. I'll be honest with you, because some people, when you talk to them, they're a dead body.
Yeah.
And they're not going to fit good on social media.
Spot on.
Yeah, I guess they'll relate with a totally boring crowd, but the people that blow up faster, they've got a little charisma, they got a little bit of energy, they know who they are, they've got a little crazy story, just like you.
So when you say blueprint, I mean, obviously I know you can't sit here and tell me what the blueprint is, but like when you talk about the blueprint, like what do you mean by that? It's like, you mean like a step-by-step formula?
Dude, I would tell you everything, and that's why, like, even in our program, we just divulge everything because, like, honestly, you're still going to have to, like, there's so many different aspects of how to build a brand. There's so many different things that you have to do. It would take me, like, I'd have to talk for, like, 8 hours straight. The best thing of that system is you can carve little pieces out and then start adding it to your system, but basically anything that we've done to build our brand, from YouTube, Instagram, the following, the reels, the targeting, everything that we've done, all of these little strategies that go into building, a billion viewed brand, they're all in there. And all you have to do is just sit in there and, I'll guide you. I'll even show you where all of the videos are. Mikey will guide you and show you where they're at. And then you take notes, man, you implement them. And, then we get together and we figure out, how they're doing, if they're working. And then we just coach you from there. And the greatest thing about a brand is, like in sales, it's hard for me to coach you in sales because I can't listen to all your sales calls.
Yeah.
But when you have a brand, I can literally go to your page and I can audit and see if you're doing it right.
Bro has a 0.2% conversion rate. He's not doing it right.
For me, growing up, I don't know if you could tell this, but I used to do a little bit of theater. And I love public speaking. I know a lot of people get nervous in front of the camera. I eat that stuff up. I love it. And that's part of why.
You're built for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're literally built for this. You're just the not discovered hometown hero, dude. You're like on America's Got Talent, bro. This is it, dude. Let's go.
Now, let me ask you this. I got a few questions. Let me first start by saying this. I like what I'm hearing, okay? I want to be honest with you, but I also want to be fair and ask you some questions as well, and I think you think that's completely fair.
I wouldn't talk to you this long, or just to be honest with you, or really give you this types of information if I didn't feel you can do it. And so I'm always down to ask questions for a person like you that I believe would work great with us.
Okay, great. Because for me, I don't know if Mikey told you, I just worked like a 14-hour shift and I'm tired as hell. But no, like I said, I'm
tired. You sound like you're ready to run a marathon.
Well, I just had a humongous steak before you called me.
There we go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, shoot, man. What do you got?
First of all, let me ask the blueprint and the modules. Like, how many hours comes with that?
I mean, dude, it's a very robust system. It's got, because, dude, you're going to get in there and find other things in sales trade, other things in branding, because branding also has to do with personal development. Branding is personal development in disguise. The better you become, the better your brand becomes, right? So, there's going to be straight up branding and marketing in the tune of probably 100+ hours on just that one subject.
That's a lot.
But that's going to lead you down a rabbit hole. Yeah, that's going to lead you down a rabbit hole of at least, another level of personal development, because the better you become, the better your brand becomes, right? So it's like you're going to have to study the branding and marketing advice, but then you're going to start seeing that there's other holes in your game, and then we solve all of that too.
Can you guys guess how they're going to solve it? I bet they're going to offer me a course. They have some training for me. I bet they have it all set up.
Likely, you're going to get in there and start studying some of the leadership. You sound like a pretty obsessed guy, so you're probably going to want to master that.
They're already planning the upsell, and I haven't even bought the course.
Then we kind of just need to figure out, okay, well, based on what you're seeing, how can we help? And we don't know what that necessarily is just yet, because you got to get in there, study, grow, and then you're going to become a different person. And as we start talking, it's a different level of a conversation, because now you've learned new things that you haven't learned before.
You said, what, $2,400 for the program?
$2,900.
$2,900.
If you do it before the end of the month, which it's, end of the month is today. So it's like, it's typically $4,900, but right now we just ran a deal. I thought you maybe called from that marketing we just sent out. So there's a deal before the end of the day.
What's the deal?
Yeah, dude, you basically, it's $4,900. You save $2,000 to do it today.
That's a lot of money to
why,
save.
Dude, our phones are, that's why I'm also talking fast, because I got 10 other calls coming up, because it's our busiest day of the month. It's huge.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I don't mean to take too much time if I am or whatever.
No, dude, you're the right guy. I want to spend all day with you, dude. I could talk to you all day because you fire me up, dude. I'm getting just as fired up just talking to you.
Yeah.
You got me ready to go punch a hole in the wall or some shit.
Yeah.
Stop it. Get some help.
The system that you get access to, it has 5 coaching calls a week with top experts, from branding to marketing to personal development to sales to mindset. There's calls that you'll be able to jump on with trained experts of those fields that Andy himself trained. You'll be on some of those. I myself, 15 years in sales, number one in my industry out of a couple 100,000 people. I did that for 10 years. I got a little bit known for it, but that's kind of who I am. I was great at branding. I was great at marketing. I was great at sales. I was very known for it. Made millions of dollars doing the sales thing. Scaled a lot of companies. So I'm on one of those because I was trained by him. I was one of his first people.
If this guy scaled multiple businesses and made millions of dollars, why is he working as a salesman for Andy Elliott? It doesn't make any sense. If he can build his own brand and he can go be the face of the franchise, why is he being the call boy for someone else?
There's calls like with his support team that you can jump on with him. There's a call with him specifically that you get to get on every Sunday. And then there's hundreds of modules. And then as we have seminars, like we'll have seminars every month, you get access to those seminars. So you can be live on those seminars with us and growing too. So there's a lot of elements to it, but it's just one price, and then that's 1 year. So that includes 1 year of all of that training. The next part of this would be Mikey would onboard you tomorrow, tell you where you need to go, what you need to train on. He'll give you a plan of like what you're going to study, how you're going to study it, a couple check-ins that you're going to do. He'll also send you the next date of our seminar, and you're going to be like, okay, I can make that. It's in November. I can make that. It's in December. I can make that. It's in October. Whatever it is, between now and then, we see how much we can grow you, how much we can scale, and then you know you're going to see us in a couple of months, so your ass better really get going. Hey, if you're at 10 grand, we want you to be at 20. Okay, here's what we need to do to get there between now and when we see you. We call it a runway.
Okay, yeah. So the $2,900, if I'm understanding from what you said, is basically it's a subscription yearly.
Well, it's not a subscription because that would just like renew. But at the end of the year, we have an insanely high, like renewal rate. And so like customers will call and say, hey, we'll call them and say, hey, you're a week out from your year being over. What do you want to do? You can do the same deal. We'll grandfather you, and you can pay the same deal as you paid last. Do you want to do it? They'll say yes. If not, no big deal. We won't charge you. You can roll on.
I understand, obviously, Andy's a famous guy. You said you're head of the sales. Mike, you said you're president, I think, of the company, right?
Yeah.
So that's impressive. Congratulations. One of the things I'm curious about is what would my access be to you guys? Because obviously...
Dude, you can call me every day if you want. I don't care. Listen, dude, me and Andy live with our shoes on. Like, there's nothing that means more to us than people growing. Seriously. I don't care if we got to stop things that we're doing. I say that with total belief, and I would do anything for you because, listen, like, am I going to realistically be able to answer all day long? No. I've got 2 people who called me that are students that are waiting for my call back, and I just texted them, hey, it's going to be within the next hour or so that I can jump on a call with you. I got busy days. Some days are a little busier than others. Some days I can jump on a call right there. Some days you may have to book on the calendar for tomorrow. I want you to grow because how we built this company, we didn't build it because we were cool on social media or Andy. We don't even like to be called influencers. Andy will like smack you in the face if you call him an influencer because he literally was just a business guy that wanted to teach people, that documented his life, and then people started liking how he was living. Most of the people who do what we do, they don't have a building. They don't have the things that we have. We created a real company and a real business, and the only way we've done that is because people got results, and then they went out and they started talking about us and growing with us.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. It's just super important to me that I have accessibility when I need it. I do have one question. Now, I want to be clear in saying that I don't really know anything about this. I ended up selling one of the mobile homes I bought. I ended up selling it to a family, and they all, 3 of them just started working for me. I told him some of the people I was reaching out to, and I told him, one of the groups I reached out to was Andy Elliott here. But he mentioned something about Andy Elliott and his past, but is there something that I should know about with that?
Dude, one of the greatest things that Andy has that makes Andy who Andy is, Andy wouldn't be Andy without his past. Now, let me explain. When you go through something that's horrible in your life and you're able to beat it.
Well, he didn't beat it. He took a plea deal and ratted out his co-conspirators. I wouldn't exactly call that beating it.
We're faith-driven people. We believe that qualifies you to help other people. And some people look at their past like they're a victim and like, oh my God, I made these stupid mistakes, or oh my God, I'm not worthy. The one thing that's driven him is because Andy's touched the stove. Andy's been broken. Andy's been broke. Andy's been Andy's lost it all. Andy's almost gone to jail. Like he's had a lot of things go wrong in his life. But that's why he can stand up and talk to so many people with such belief and such courage, is because he had to change. Like I have a preacher that, like, he's not a pastor's son. He's not a guy that got raised with a great life. He's a guy that was a drug addict. He's a guy that got saved by Jesus and really feels like he owes every single thing in his life to Jesus. So when he gets up and he's talking to his church, it's a different level of conviction and belief and passion because the guy's been through something. And the industry we're in, there's probably not one person in the world that can say they didn't do what we did. You go into a car dealership and they say, hey, your income, the bank needs you to make $3,500 and you make $3,400. Every car dealership is going to put you at $3,500. Like most of them are. Now, is it the right thing to do? Not necessarily. Is it hurting somebody? Not necessarily. But, does it get the deal done? Yeah. Is it the wrong thing? Absolutely. But over our term of our years, and I sold more cars than anybody, and these things were prevalent in all of the things we did. So Andy was he was a guy that got in trouble for those things. He was a guy that got in trouble for his past. But then he was a guy that said, hey, you know what? I'm going to own it. I'm going to own it to the world, and I'm going to show people what not to do. Yeah, Andy's got a past just like everybody. The only people that are throwing stones at a glass house are people that think they're perfect. And in reality, nobody's perfect. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not exactly throwing stones in a glass house when the Big Red Auto dealership was taken down by the feds for committing fraud. fraud, and Andy Elliott flipped on all of his co-conspirators in order to save himself. Nobody's perfect, but the line of making a mistake and knowingly committing fraud, lying to get someone from your church involved in the fraud, taking money from your employees, like that's way beyond the line of making mistakes in your past.
You know, and honestly, if they found out some shit that I did in the past, it'd be way worse than that. So, you know, and one day they'll probably find out. Maybe one day I'll talk about it. I don't know.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
This guy admits that he did something worse than what Andy Elliott did. What did this guy possibly do? I mean, you basically are admitting you've done something illegal to me on this phone call. Like, you're trying to get me in the program and you're basically saying, yeah, I used to be a con. Who does that?
It's just, you know, in the world that we were in the industry we were in, a lot of people, like, you can understand, you're not like really in that super sales world, but
No.
you know, a lot of people cut corners in sales and they do the wrong things. And so like now we're a company that teaches people not to do bad things, because we were not as this company, but we as people before we started this company were doing a lot of the wrong things. We've just hung around a lot of the wrong people. When we started this company, we didn't even want to start it just to impact a lot of people. We wanted like that, like we didn't really necessarily have that intention. We started this company because we were sick of being around shitbags, and we're sick of being around bad people, and we're sick of working for bad people.
Bro, you are the bad people. Elliott admitted in court under oath he did all these bad things, and you just admitted that you did something just as bad or worse than him.
And so we made it a rule. We said, whoever we hire here at our company, every single person is going to have to love each other. They're going to have to vote each other in. They can vote each other out, and we're going to run as a total family. No company has built that, but we don't want to be these other companies. We want to build a family, a friendship, and a real freaking brotherhood, because we didn't have any of that where we came from. I have a shitty past. He has a shitty past. And, you know, that's why we're qualified to go help the sick and broken. And that's what God's called us to do, is help the broken, not the perfect.
So God's called them to go be online coaches and teach people how to become coaches and how to build a personal brand. Give me a break, man. I can't stand when people try to use the name of God to try to better themselves, make themselves look better, say, oh, I'm doing something righteous. Oh, if you want to be a coach, be a coach. You say, yeah, I like to teach other coaches. Just own that. Don't go and try to make it seem like, oh, I'm on this divine mission. I've been called to do this. No, God is not calling you and going and saying, hey, you need to be an online sales coach to go and get other people to buy your course.
No, I mean, I totally get that. I mean, one of my employees that I have, he's a felon. I know he's a felon.
Yeah.
And I'm like 95% sure one of the other people ain't even supposed to be here at all. I'm sure he's an illegal alien. It doesn't affect me, so I don't really care either way. Just to make sure, it is cool for me to share.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yep, 100%.
Okay. This sale ends today.
Yep.
Okay. It puts me on the clock.
I know, man, and I don't want to put any pressure on you, but if you've been thinking about really growing this and really doing a good job on this brand, there's a 3-day money back guarantee too, just so you know. So like if you get in and you're like, I don't know, no big deal. Like we always offer that to people because we want them to feel not pressured, especially like even on the last day of the month. Like if you start it and it's like not something you want to do, no, that's okay.
I had one person I talked to earlier, and I'm talking to you now, and I have one person that's supposed to call me here at 5 o'clock in 21 minutes. Now, I can say without a doubt, not trying to kiss your butt or anything, but you're miles better than the last guy I talked to. That last guy, I'm like 80, 90% sure he was high.
See, most people in this industry, they're just trying to make a sell. They don't really care about people growing, and I can say that with 100% belief in myself that we're different.
Yeah, I'm so glad he said that. Most people are just trying to make a sale. Almost like that's just what he's trying to do to me right here.
Even the next guy that comes on the phone, he ain't gonna be shit compared to this, because you can't outbelieve me in what we've done. You'd have to be really freaking crazy. You'd have to be Andy Elliott. The only person crazier than me is him.
Well, at least he admits that Andy Elliott's crazy. I would agree with that.
And it's just because I know what we'll deliver, and I know what we do really good in, and what we do really good in is what you're asking for. So you're 100% safe in what you're trying to do.
I noticed you said the sale ends at the end of the month, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be until tomorrow night, if tomorrow would be the 31st?
We got him. He's trying to tell me this is the last day of the month, trying to coerce me into getting a sale, but in reality, it's not the last day of the month. Now, you're telling me the president of the company, the person who knows everything about everything that's going on, just happened to forget what day it is? They don't know what sale ends what day? Absolutely not. Cut the crap. He tried to use this thinking I would not know that there's 31 days in the month of July. No, and that's exactly why I say what I said before, that he's just trying to get a sale out of me.
Is today the last day of the month?
No, today's the 30th. Tomorrow's the 31st.
Oh, shoot, dude. I'm always thinking today's the last day of the month, dude. We're all over here running around like it's the last day of the month. Yeah, tomorrow is the last day. Dude, I don't even know what day it is. I think it's Saturday. I've been telling everybody all day it's the last day of the month, and no one person has told me it's not.
Yeah.
So He must just be okay with my delusion.
Well, I tell you, I mean, I have pretty strong attention to detail.
Yeah, I don't. I'm like, I don't even know what I ate. I just ate lunch 45 minutes ago. I'm sitting here trying to think what I ate. I'm hungry again. But I want you to remember how you feel on this conversation. I want you to trust your gut. All right, sounds good. I'll look for you tomorrow.
All right, sounds great. Enjoyed talking to you.
Okay, buddy.
All right, bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. That's what it's like to talk to the head man over at the Elliott Group. He claims to be the president. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. As a surprise, guys, I actually have 2 of these sales calls. The Andy Elliott team called me back again. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to share part 2, talking to a different salesperson, claiming an entirely different backstory, and they still didn't notice. That's what's so crazy. But guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to my channel. I'd love to have you be a part of the group I'm building here. Leave a like on the video. Thank you for watching this far if you have. Y'all have a nice week.